Hello everyone. This is Football Timo. Just I just want to talk about my top five of Real Madrid players for the month of September 2025. Um, you know, it's really nice to just have a ranking of the performance of players over the course of a month. I mean, especially with this international break. Um, you know, this month was wild. We had some goals, some nice goals, a lot of penalties, a crushing defeat, obviously. But we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna ignore that. But so today we're just gonna be counting my top five of Real Madrid players this month. Uh, well, spoiler alert. I think one of them has a has a private fan club just for their hair. We all know who I'm talking about. Um, So here's how we'll be doing this moving forward. I'm obviously going to do for the next upcoming months, but I'll be judging based on performance, the goal, assist, tackle, the scream-worthy moments, that influence. Did they actually end up deciding a game, or were they just, standing there, just being another person on the field? It's 11 man. If I want to pick the best, I don't want to pick all 11. Otherwise, the video would be too long. Were they consistent throughout the month? Because sometimes we have people that are just good for one game and then they completely go the next one. So I just want to see if they had more than just one good game and they were relatively consistent. I mean, they don't have to be the top of the top every game. I don't think any player can really be that. We're not. Even Messi and Ronaldo had some quote unquote bad games every now and then. So, and number four, it would be their importance. Were they needed by the team? Or could I have called in my grandma to help? She doesn't know a lot about football, but I'm sure maybe she can kick a ball or something. But all right, let's get into it. Starting at number five, I think I'm gonna pick Franco Mastantuono. I think everybody knows at this point in time that this kid's really young. We're talking about a young talent Argentinian he was 17 a couple of months ago, who just traveled, come to with Spain to Madrid. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, but there's a lot of aspects he needs to improve. But one thing we can't deny with this kid is that he's full of vigor, full of talent. He's he has a lot of energy. He's trying to do everything he can to support the team in whatever shape or form he can. But he's a good dribbler. He misses a lot though. Ball controls are still a little bit iffy, but I love the passion from the dude. I love it. And he finally scored his first goal in La Liga. We're talking about someone who, I know theoretically speaking, shouldn't technically be a starter at his level for a club like Real Madrid, but hey, if we have somebody else who doesn't want to play there, and I mean, Brahim is not a starter. I'd rather have these guys than Brahim. But honestly, I'm really excited to what this guy is doing. He's been great. I think he has a lot of improvement that needs to happen. But hey, man, at this age, I was like trying to figure out how to make eggs and boiling pasta in my home. I mean, this guy is trying to break ankles, scoring goals, and he's actually probably the youngest. I think he started for a Champions League game for Madrid, so that's great. But yeah, a lot of things to improve. But I love the kid. At number four, I have Trameni, who I think we're still looking for a little bit more from him. He's obviously made a lot of progress in his defensive performances, tackles, interception, composure. That's great. And I think at least for this month, he's been pretty much an anchor for the midfield. That deep, that CDM that's really at the back there, just trying to block everything, tackle. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit reckless, but hey, if he gets the ball, he gets the ball. Just want not any red cards or anything like that. But hey, no, really, this guy is really out here making midfield look like a chill thunderstroll. You know what I mean? The match against Real Sociedad, where unfortunately, I'm going to bring him up in the list later on because I know some people are going to comment on it. But we were down to 10 men because of honestly an inexperienced mistake, you could say, from Hoyson. And I think Tramini was very crucial in those kind of game when you're down and you really need a defensive player that can hold it down and still connect that defense with the midfield. I think he did a great job tackling, passing, trying his best at controlling the game. But we all know he's not a controller. But he's always, basically like that Madrid human GPS, always in the right place at the right time. Except maybe at the hair salon. I don't really like his hair. I'm not gonna lie, guys, that his haircut is not. I'm not a fan, but hey, I'd rather have the player than worry about his hairstyle. If Prime Tremaine has to have that hairstyle, hey, I'll suck it up and get through it. It's not the end of the world. But at number 3, and maybe this is where things get a little bit controversial. I'll put Arda Güler, and I know some people might argue with my next pick, but Arda Güler, I like his progression. I love what he's been able to do throughout this month. I love his connection with Mbappe. I love his creative spark in the midfield, which we obviously clearly lack until proven otherwise. I mean, with the return of Bellingham, maybe I'm going to be proven wrong in a couple of games, but he's been able to bring that creativity to the midfield. Although right now it seems like he's only finding Mbappe, which we shouldn't be. He should be able to find other players as well. But I mean, every now and then you're going to have a special connection between two players. So it's not the end of the world. But he's progressed a lot. He's obviously impossible to ignore with this new system, with Xabi Alonso's system. You need to get the ball through him to create something. I mean, it's crazy to say this, but without Bellingham being there, he was pretty much the Pedri, the Vitinha, whatever it is of the team, and the creative spark of it, obviously. But he's basically Madrid's magic wonderland to just create scoring chances. I'm sure, guys probably all know the stats, but he is probably one of the top 5 of the most create chances in all top 5 competition like leagues. So we just waited and we're suddenly creating one chance with Arda Güler. But he's been phenomenal. He's been improving a lot. I know a lot of people have been concerned about his off the ball walk rate. That's definitely, he's no Valverde, okay? Guys, he's never going to be Valverde. However, there's definitely a lot of progression in that area. I know he's progressed a lot too, but my biggest thing for putting him at number 3 is, as opposed to maybe putting him a little bit higher, just because I feel like I still need him to really, really perform in like big games. I feel like sometimes it's like when they have the possession and we have the ball and all that, like he's really good. But when things don't necessarily go in his favor, he kind of completely ghosts. Like he can't really shine in some situations, which is unfortunate. And he needs to work on that because, at the end of the day, yeah, maybe in La Liga it's gonna cut it, but in the Champions League, in other competition against Barcelona, like you're not gonna hold the ball all the time. You need to be able to do something else or create something, or I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. But I mean, from what I've seen so far in the big games, I need him to step up. But I like what I've seen so far. But yeah, he's obviously really good assist later. He's probably leading the assists or something with Madrid along with Vinicius. But yeah, I love the guy. I love the connection. I wish he can connect a little bit more with everybody else. And I hope he can progress a lot in all of his different weaknesses. At number 2, and this one, I mean, I know everybody already saw it coming, but Vinicius Junior. I have a lot of up and down with this guy. It's like he's good. Like he's good, but. And this is just me. I think I'm making the list purely also on like wishful thinking, hoping, I don't know, he's probably not going to watch this video, but I want this guy to be what he was before. And even greater, as a matter of fact. I want him to be one of the leaders. If not, if he can compete with the leader, if he can overtake everybody else on that pitch, Bellingham, Mbappe, if he can be that, then go for it, man. I really don't care, because at the end of the day, I support the club, not the player, bro. I want to win. We cannot go another season without trophies. Like that stuff is not. It's not acceptable. Not at a club like Madrid. We are not Arsenal. We are not any other club. This is Madrid. There's some expectation. I know some people want to tell us, oh, we need to accept the reality of like transition and no. I don't. Yes, there is a transition. That transition does not excuse the fact that you don't win anything. So I need him at his best. And I know maybe under the shabby system, it's actually taking a bit longer, because it's not necessarily a system that favors a player that likes as much freedom as he would not like. Under Ancelotti, he was very free on that side. He was allowed to do whatever he wants. I mean, Vinicius is a player that dribbles, lose the ball, dribble, lose the ball, but eventually he will get through. He has that pace, that explosiveness to really renew and try again and try again and try again. Exhaust the defenders. They get a foul, get the defenders frustrated. Hopefully not our players frustrated, but he's very fast, honestly. I think the explosiveness with Vinny is a key factor, and I think lately people were questioning if he was losing a little bit of that, because that's really what makes his dribbling more alluring. His speed, his explosiveness. But yeah, man, I think scoring and assisting for forwards is very crucial with their mental, that confidence, how they feel value on the pitch. Because I mean, that's really what they're all about. You don't put a forward on the pitch to defend. You don't put a forward on the pitch to create, control the game, the tempo and balance. Like, that's not what they're there for. They're there to make you score goals. That's how you win a game. You score more goals than the opponent, right? I hate 0-0 scoreline. That thing really annoys me. But yeah, so Vinicius is really there to really be someone who creates chances from his dribble, from his explosiveness. And I love that recently we've seen clips and these little moments where it feels like slowly but hopefully surely he's clicking with Mbappe. And ideally, the rest of the team too, because we're not gonna lie here. Vinicius really He's one of the players that benefited the most from having a player like Toni Kroos on the team. And when we lost that, I feel like Vinicius lost a lot of what was kind of enabling his play style. But hopefully he can find that soon. Hopefully he can be his own player without relying on anybody else, if that makes sense. He can really create his own chances from just scratch, without like a genius pass from Cruz or whoever it is. I mean, the pass are always appreciated, but let's say somebody is injured, somebody is out of form or something, is not part of the club anymore. You need to be still your own player. We're talking about someone who nearly won the Ballon d'Or, right? Like you can't, and especially with his age, with his talent, how like he's 25. We're talking about a young player. This is someone who can potentially go in one of the greats of Madrid if he stays and raise the level up to what he was, if not even greater. But I love what he's done. I love the progression that I've seen throughout this month. And I hope to see him try again, because we already know what he's capable of. We know peak performance Vinicius. We just want to see it back, and we want to see it double. But really, he's great. I really love that. Although, okay, we got to say something though. But he should not be taking penalties. Just between you and me, he should not be taking penalties. But let's stick with what you're good at and what you're not good at. I mean, we all have strengths and weaknesses, but Vinny, that's not your strength. Please, I love the gesture from Mbappe, but if we're being real, yeah, that was his confidence boost. That was to show they care about each other. But I saw that penalty, man, that was he could have missed that. He could have been real bad, but he didn't, and I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he scored that. I'm glad he got the brace. He got some assists, and I love people always try to make fun of stats, but stats are very important for players like Vinny, for players like Mbappe, for a lot of players in general. I know you may not like how they operate, how they move, how they do things, but for a footballer, it's massive. It means it brings value to you being on the team. Without those, I know people want to praise maybe off the ball, walk rate from other players and etc. But for forward, you really need to have some kind of like a direct impact, and that comes in the form of assists and goals. So I'm glad Vinicius is progressing in that aspect, and I hope to see more. Obviously, at number one, wait, no surprise. The guy, the legend, the person that all the defenders hate. Or, nowadays, yeah, he's competing with like what? Everybody's having there's like three players that are having a ridiculous start of the season, like with Haaland and Kane. Those are the players that defenders hate to see, especially a defender like Mbappe, less more than Kane, because Mbappe and Haaland, and I guess Haaland is a bit of a cheat code because he's both strong, tall, and fast. But Mbappe is very quick at his feet too. He has that technique that Haaland maybe lacks. But yeah, he's very scary to go against, especially if you do not catch him and he goes behind you. You're screwed, essentially. You need to stop him before he accelerates. It's really fast. But we're talking about a guy who's been scoring every single game except for one. You already know he's going to score one goal. And it doesn't matter whether it's a penalty or not. At the end of the day, we saw the game against Sevilla with Barcelona. You got to score a penalty. It's not easy to score one. People think it is, but it's not easy. And we're talking about someone who's been scoring penalties a lot. Yeah, people can talk about how much penalties contributed to his goal contribution this year. Sure, whatever, you do you. At the end of the day, for me, I want the team to win. And if we have to win through a penalty, if we have to win through 2 penalties, if we have to win through 5 penalties, I would take it. And I would gladly take it every single day. Because a win is a win. Okay, I would take the 3 points. I would take the points in the Champions League. I would take a final with the penalty. Man, we're talking about people really don't understand, but these penalties can be a life or death, like a win or lose situation. You can be in the final of a Champions League, of a World Cup, of a competition, and it comes down to a penalty, and you miss it, and your team loses. Like, yes, they feel cheap, quote unquote, because they're not from open play, but a penalty needs to be scored. People can miss it, a goalkeeper can save it. And it takes a lot of confidence to go out there and actually in that Marseille game where he scored 2 penalties, it takes a lot of confidence to score 2 penalties back to back. It's not everybody that can do that. So I'll give him props for the work he's done, the goals he scored. Obviously, I think with Mbappe, some of the things I definitely want him to work on, which I think will be fixed with Bellingham, and I feel like it's also maybe a combination of how our midfield is right now. We're lacking creative element. Like, we don't need every player to be on the same creative spark and engine as Arda Güler, right? But we need people that can feed our attackers, our forwards. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons people complain about something on Kylian and Mbappe that I want him to improve is the fact that he's always coming back to get the ball and playmaker. He's not a playmaker, but at the end of the day, he probably only comes back because nobody's feeding the ball to forward. But I think once we figure out our midfield, I think we're less likely to see those kind of things from Mbappe moving forward. Like, once we get that midfield, properly organized, structured to the point where they will distribute the ball to the forward, whether it's on the right, the left, and the center. And I think that would be great. And also, at the end of the day, I think that's going to be great. And I think Mbappe only comes back in a lot of those games because we're facing low blocks. Mbappe is not good with the head. He can be if he wanted to. I'm not saying he doesn't know how to head the ball, but I think he doesn't really want to. Like, that's not his profile. We're not talking like Haaland or Kane or some other 9 or something. We're talking about someone who was a winger who can convert to a 9. Like, it's a different profile. Low blocks, he's always gonna come back and get the ball because his shooting is pretty good. What can I say? He can shoot from outside the box with his left foot, with his right foot, a low shot, low driven shot, like a curve ball, finesse shot. Like he can score. He can score. You just give him the ball. He can work his magic. But yeah, crosses and headers. He would rather do a over the head kick, a scissor kick, a volley rather than heading it with the head. It's crazy, by the way. But no, he's obviously he's our player of the month in La Liga. Um, he's a funny guy too, by the way. You should hear some of the stuff that he see. He has some funny moments, by the way. I remember a clip where he was doing something that looked like some voodoo magic or something on the goal. But anyways, he's quick, clinical, and when he touches the ball, you can almost hear defenders being like, "Holy shit, what's gonna happen?" But no, I want him to obviously. I think his off the ball walk rate, pressing needs to be. I'm not gonna see, like we're not expecting him and Vinny or whoever the forward to be pressing like defenders or like Tramini or like Valverde or something like that. But just press the man that you can that's next to you, 2 meters, 2 feet away, whatever it is. Just get the ball whenever you can and work with your team. Okay. I mean, I say that, but at the same time, it's like you need to have some kind of ego to be a striker. You need to really be able to make a goal happen even though when there's an easy option, but you just have that ego in you, and obviously you need to score. If you miss, then people are going to give you a lot. You're going to get in a lot of trouble. But sometimes it's really those moments where you can see someone who has ego and not skill, and someone who has ego with no skill. Mbappe, for the most part, has ego and has skill to it. Like he can have a very egotistical moment and, reward you with a goal. I mean, yeah, you would have been like, oh, he shouldn't have passed, he should have played with the team. But he's a striker. If you wanted somebody, I want to pass the ball, you should have gotten Mbappe. But honestly, we're not going to get that conversation. I want the team to win, essentially. If Mbappe making the pass or not making the pass ends up being something that defines the outcome of our game versus a win or loss, then yeah, I'll be on his ass and tell him, no, you should have passed. But if that doesn't end up being a decider and he does his game, score the goals, try to contribute to team whether it's an assist or goal or something, that would be great too. But no, that was all for my top 5. I have some honorable mentions. Despite the horrendous performance against Atletico Madrid, I still want to give props to special shout outs to Eder Militao and Carreras. I think Militao's really surprised me very positively to an absurd level to come back from an ACL injury. 2 ACL injury back to back at the level he's displayed. It's nothing short of miraculous at this point, to be honest. I mean, I know he's had some quote unquote average or mid games, but even then, I don't think people really understand how crazy this is. I mean, I know people are gonna say, I mean, in the summer, Florentino Perez should have bought like another defender and all that. I mean, sure, we can debate about all that all year long, but the fact of the matter is he didn't. And we have Militao, and a part of me is really glad he's returned to this level. I hope he doesn't get injured. Obviously, fingers crossed. We need him, and I'm not kidding. We need him. We need him. we got and for some reason, I feel like we have a curse. No, why is it always our defense that has injuries? Like, what's wrong? What's going on? Like, I can't say it's a medical staff issue per se, because if it's a medical staff issue, it should have reflected across the entire squad. But it's only in the defense. Like why? Why is it always the defense? Like, why is it okay? Maybe not always, because I know we got. I mean, Bellingham. I don't think that applies too much. But Camavinga gets injured on time. But I feel like that's just him, to be honest. But we always have we have problem with our defense when it comes to injuries. So we need to get that fixed. By the way, they need to have rhythm. They have to have continuity. They need to perform, but they need to stay fit. For the love of God, just watch what you eat, guys. Like it's not that hard. They just and be careful on the pitch, okay? But Carreras, very fine addition. I mean, no shades to Fran Garcia, but he's not a Madrid level left back. Okay. And even then, I mean, I'm not gonna say Carreras is like Marcelo level or something or Roberto Carlos. But it's true that he had a really terrible performance against Atletico. I think that's why he's not in the top five. Same thing with Hoyson. I know some people may have had different opinions on my list, and I know obviously you guys are going to comment down below what you think about it. That's okay. You know, we can all disagree. I mean, think if you watch this video, you probably love Madrid. So we all, at the end of the day, we all want to win. We want to win trophies. We want to win as a team. But yeah, but Alvaro, the reason why he's an honorable mention and Hoyson is not, I feel like Alvaro has just had one bad game as opposed to Hoyson, which, I mean, I know I'm only supposed to judge 2020, the September 2025, but yeah, I mean, the Sociedad game, and I know this is completely not the same month, but I feel like Hoyson has a lot more progression and mistakes and weaknesses in his game than Carreras has. And I think Carreras has performed better than what I expected for this month than Hoyson. They're both great, obviously, and I want them to progress and evolve in this club and become the best version of themselves. And I know that they are the future. You know, we have a really young squad, so it's important to really nurture and take care of our prospects for our young talent. So I can only wish the best for Hoyson and Carreras. Hopefully they learn from their weaknesses, what they're bad at, and hopefully they improve for the next big games. Because we really need to do better at big games. We've been taking ass beatings from everybody. But Carreras, I think another thing that didn't help him is like I feel like he hasn't really had time to rest. You know, unlike some of the other players. I feel like Carreras has not had any rest. And I think maybe that could be part of the reason, probably not the main reason, but part of the reason why he was not that good against Atletico Madrid. It's just, you know, we're all humans at the end of the day. He can't play in the full 90 minutes all the time and he doesn't feel it, you know. Not everybody's like a complete engine machine. And even Bellingham, Valverde, we've seen the limits. We've seen what that can do to a player. That can affect that performance. At one point, he might just hit them like a truck and they just become completely terrible. But I love what I've seen from Carreras. Well, obviously, I'm looking forward to October. Obviously, there's been a couple of games, but we are mostly gonna have a major clash with Barcelona. I mean, Juventus is gonna be a test. Getafe is gonna be a test, but those are games that I can see us winning with the way we've been playing. I mean, obviously, you can never predict the future, but the toughest game and the game where we really be expecting Hoyson and Carreras to make up for that blunder against Atletico is against Barcelona. And I'll be able to really tell if they've learned or if they haven't. And hopefully they have. Hopefully they have. We are tired of losing to Barcelona. And I want to see them perform at the highest level, not just against Barcelona, but against big teams in the Champions League. And he's not flashy. Carreras is not flashy. But he's been a really great addition. But yeah. Thank you for listening, guys. So the list is as follow. You know, we have 5 Matantuono, 4 Tchouaméni, 3 Güler, 2 Vinicius. I mean, maybe people can swap out Vinicius and Güler. I mean, I'm not too terribly opposed to that. But then number 1 Mbappe. So yeah, tell me down in the comments below, like, subscribe, and looking forward to doing more of this next month for October. and I will try, expanding the channel, see if I can do some weekly reviews on the games. Some games that we play, some games I might not have, maybe I may not cover, but I'm super passionate about Madrid. I love this team. I want us to win. Last season was tough. And this we really need to improve, and I feel like I've seen a lot of improvement. Is it enough to win a Champions League? No. Is it enough for me to be satisfied with this progression? Yes. Now it's just about keep on the positive slope, keep progressing, working on our weaknesses, improving our strengths, especially because some people, I think, they get lost sometime in working on the weaknesses, and they forget about their strength, what makes them dangerous, what they're good at. You really got to improve what you're good at, and try to work also on what you're not good at. But you can't be good at everything. Ronaldo wasn't good at everything. Messi wasn't good at everything. And we're talking about the two the goats of arguably the entire history of football. People talk about Pelé, Maradona. I didn't really see them play. But at least the goat of this century, since 2000, I think. But yeah, you can't be good at everything. I think it's important that as fans we also accept that we can't be good at everything from the get-go. There are things that we're going to be bad at. There's things that we're good at, and we need to keep being good at those. But the things that we're bad at, it's going to take some time. It's going to be a step-by-step process. I think at the beginning we're struggling with low blocks. I think we're getting better at working at scoring against low blocks. Now we still need to work on our set pieces. We suck at we conceive so many crosses and set pieces, like it's ridiculous. That needs to change, obviously. But yeah, guys. Well, tell me who you would swap for. If you disagree or agree with this top 5 of the month, drop your top 5 in the comment. And ring that bell for more Madrid madness. Hala Madrid and Inadamas. Thank you, guys.